All right, so buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into some seriously thought-provoking stuff.
Ooh, I like where this is
We're
going.
talking about justice, corruption, the kind of things that make you question, like, what happens when good people are pushed too far?
Sounds intense. I'm ready.
And to explore all of this, we're turning to a source that's anything but subtle, the Beekeeper.
Ah, yes. The 2024 action thriller starring Jason Statham, right?
You got it. Now I know what you're thinking. An action movie for a deep dive, but trust me on this one. This film packs a punch, both literally and figuratively.
Okay, I'm intrigued. I've seen the movie, of course, but I'm really curious to see what you've pulled out of it.
Well, one of the things that struck me right away is how the film really digs into the whole idea of exploitation. You see how easily a seemingly small act of taking advantage of someone can spiral into something much darker and more widespread.
That's so true. And it's not just a Hollywood plot device either, sadly.
Right.
I mean, we see this happening in the real world all the time. Corporations, institutions, sometimes even individuals. They prioritize profit or power over ethics, and, well, the consequences can be devastating.
Exactly. And in The Beekeeper, this whole theme of exploitation really comes to life through the character of Eloise.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about being caught in the gears of a corrupt system.
It's heartbreaking to watch her story unfold.
It is. And it really got me thinking, like, have any of our listeners ever experienced something similar? Where they witnessed a company or an organization acting in a way that just felt wrong.
Yeah, I think that's a really important question because too often corruption thrives in silence. People are afraid to speak up, or maybe they don't even realize what they're saying is actually wrong.
It's like that saying, if you see something, say something.
Right.
But it's easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, especially when you're dealing with powerful entities. But that's why The Beekeeper is so interesting. I mean, here you have this character, Adam Clay, who's not a superhero, not a cop, he's just an ordinary guy.
Right, he's a beekeeper.
But he gets pushed to his absolute limit and decides to take matters into his own hands.
And let me tell you, he does not mess around. But, beyond all the action and the explosions, it's Adam's drive for justice that really resonated with me.
I can see that. I mean, his determination to bring down this corrupt organization is pretty inspiring. In a way, it kind of makes you wonder, is there a little bit of Adam Clay in all of us? That innate desire for fairness, that instinct to fight back when we see injustice?
I think there might be.
Yeah.
But it also brings up a big question. How far is too far? Where does righteous anger end and vigilantism begin?
That's the moral gray area the film really digs into.
And it doesn't offer any easy answers.
Yo.
But, one thing I have to give Adam Clay credit for is his resourcefulness. I mean, talk about thinking outside the box. The guy uses his beekeeping knowledge in ways you wouldn't believe to take on these powerful adversaries.
He's like a modern-day MacGyver, but with bee stings instead of paper clips.
Exactly. But it's not just about the physical skills, right?
No, not at all. What The Beekeeper shows us is that resourcefulness is a mindset. It's about problem solving, adapting to unexpected challenges, and finding creative solutions even when the odds are stacked against you.
And that's a lesson we can all apply in our own lives, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, we all face obstacles, big and small. So what are some of the things our listeners do to be resourceful?
That's a great question for the audience.
I'd love to hear their thoughts.
Me too. Sometimes the most unexpected skill or piece of knowledge can become your greatest asset. It's all about how you use it, just like Adam Clay does.
Though his resourcefulness kind of has a dark side too, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's definitely using his skills for good, but his methods, well, let's just say they're not exactly by the book.
Yeah, you can say that again.
And that brings up another really important point. Even when fighting against corruption, the lines between right and wrong can get really blurry.
Exactly. And the film forces us to grapple with those moral complexities. I mean, it makes you wonder, does the world need more Adam Clays? Individuals willing to fight back against powerful forces, even if it means bending the rules? Or should we be focusing on changing the systems that allow corruption to thrive in the first place?
Those are some heavy questions.
They are, and there are no easy answers. But those are exactly the kind of discussions we need to be having.
So to all our listeners out there, we want to hear from you. Have you ever encountered a real-life beekeeper, someone who stood up to corruption, even at a personal cost? Do you believe such actions are necessary?
Let's keep this conversation going in the comments.
Because, the fight against corruption isn't just something we see in the movies. It's happening all around us. And it's up to all of us to decide how we're going to respond.
Couldn't have said it better myself.